Love you.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh shit, Jugger.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire are scanning. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I'll take that.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, it's awesome.
Nine out of 10, baby. Let's go. You love to frickin' see it. Where's my bookmarker? I hate when this happens, when someone else is, when you're, like, play perspective on someone, but someone else's, like, items and shit pops up. Frickin' whack. Frickin' whack. Alright, we should have a game pretty soon, guys, so. Sorry about the wait. Looks like, unfortunately, they're not going to push any of the games forwards, which makes tonight a little bit difficult.
attack. Roshan has fallen to the Radiant. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Why is there no lower resolution option? Because I'm not a partner, brother, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about starting to stream in 720, just so people like you can watch. Because at least it's not 1080, but I think I'm starting to recognize that streaming in 1080 is good and all, but not a lot of people can actually watch in 1080. So it's better to just still stream in 720, which is reasonably good graphics to still watch in, and which means you're not really losing any viewers. Until I get partnered by Twitch, so Twitch, if you're hearing this, I'd like you to partner me and not decline my request. But I'll try and, I can't do it now because the stream's up, so I'm sorry, but I will,
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I think I'll do it. I've got a couple of requests for it, so. Restart? What am I restarting? Go, fight them, pussy.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Where you watching? Next time.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is falling.
Haste! Come get weighed up.
Do I wake up at 4 tomorrow and cast the Europe Open qualifiers or not? I'm contemplating it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Why are they late, man? You had so long to get in the game. Oh.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
The only issue is it fucks my schedule up really bad.
Dire's middle
No, I
tower
might just do
is
the
under
Southeast
attack.
Asia qualifiers.
Dire's
Or I can wake up and...
structures are fortified.
I don't know. Everything's so difficult. And they push back the China qualifiers as well, I think. Which I don't know why, but anyway. I don't know. The Sea Monkeys actually in the qualifiers? I don't even know. Are they? Does anyone know? Hey, look. I still can't believe Cloud9 are in Southeast Asia. Wait, shh. Huh? Oh, saw your boys Winter, Splico, Red. Splico's playing with Winter, that's cool. And Red. So what team's Ninja Boogie on them?
Radiant
Come on,
forces.
Spike.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
Immortality.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Dude, what the fuck is happening?
Dire's bottom tower is
Amazing
under
what you
attack.
found laying around.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Want cookies? Not too bad.
Precious bounty.
Radiant are scanning.
Heal us. That's in the fire. Too late for you. Healing power.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Alright, we better have a freaking game. Alright, 10 out of 10, that's better than nothing.
Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
That's just
Even me.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack. Radiant's top barracks has fallen. Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
want cookies. Not too bad.
starting yet? I don't know, brother. Fucking hopefully.
Nature attend us. Here we go.
Dire team back.
Oh, far out. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a second.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team.
Alright, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Alright, this is going to be interesting to see because I've not casted EHOME.immortal since WSG, which I think it's been probably about 2 months now. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play this one out, of course, with the drafts and everything like that. But Authentic, getting knocked down from the upper bracket 2-1 with their matchup against Team Cozy, which was yesterday. Authentic had a pretty good run throughout the group stages, making it through the upper bracket, of course, well, to the upper bracket, I should say, whereas EHOME.immortal, they started in the lower bracket 2-0ing Eclipse. So just a little bit of background, because I've not seen these teams play. Actually, I think I've casted one best of 2 from Team Authentic. But it looks like yesterday the games were quite stompy, to be honest. So they have shown that they can play the IO on Dial, which was the only game they won in their best of 3 up against Team Cozy. So let's see if Dial want to put a little bit of emphasis
5 seconds remaining.
potentially on the IO there. I lately have not been seeing any Southeast Asian teams actually playing the IO through the Celestial Cup, through the Parabellum. Yeah, none of these teams have really been, well, at all. No, there's been like no first phase IO bans, no first phase picks as well, but a lot is getting left through right now. With the Enchantress getting banned out, still makes me believe that EHOME might go for a first pick Lich potentially. Unfortunately, they don't have the first pick after the ban, so Team Authentic might actually snatch that one up. What did EHOME play in their lower bracket? They played a lot of Doom and Puck and Pugna. What the hell? Okay, that's really interesting. So they banned the Ancient Apparition. So maybe what are they setting up for with the AA ban? Well, like a Huskar first phase? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. What? Well, this is a very target ban. It's not a meta hero. It's not like a specialty hero as well. I haven't seen Team Authentic play it, so I have to just imagine it's something to set up one of their first phase picks coming. Maybe if they do want to IO, I don't know. Authentic, they do go for the Lich though, so we spoke about the Enchantress not being there. Disruptor's going to get let through the pool though, something we haven't seen today just yet. In EHOME, they will go for that pocket hero they've prioritized as of late. So the AA ban is very, very interesting to me, considering they don't pick up a hero in the first phase that I think gets countered by the Ancient Apparition. So it's interesting to see, but I like Authentic going for the Lich. I think maybe Radiant might have picked this up with the Enchantress ban, because the thing about Enchantress is, like I said earlier, you spell the Frost Shield and you have pure damage as well, so you don't really care about the physical protection. So I think it's nice to snag this up before Radiant get the hero. Although with this, what do they want with the last pick here? We could see them Rubik, I think. Not the greatest abilities to steal from Disruptor, but I like it versus the Puck. Actually going to go with Tiny, so I think we'll see them ban the Naga just with the Disrupt the Puck a lot of AoE setup already, so the Naga song's super nice, and they don't have the greatest way to deal with the illusions. Feels like the Nagas are really only getting picked up with a disruptor on the team, unless that Naga is like all the other carries have been banned out. So
10 seconds remaining.
nothing stands out. My only issue with the Tiny, it's into the puck, and that doesn't provide any kill threat. That's a respect ban on the Pugner. EHOME, like I said, played it yesterday, 2 games against Eclipse and won both of them. So I'd just say respect banning that, although I still don't think the hero is very strong. Situational, to say the least. Yeah, I'm worried about Authentics actually opener to deal with the puck. Lich, very difficult to actually get, you know, I say this time and time again. Position 5 supports very rarely are able to get the full duration of a channeled ability off. That's why we don't see Bane too much anymore. So the Lich doesn't provide too much kill threat. Hang on. Yeah, I don't see Lich having too much kill threat over onto the good old Puck, and also the reason why I think Puck is very good against a Tiny is the fact that you're able to get your face shift off. It's only the mini stuns, so it doesn't really do anything. The fact that you can face shift, jaunt away, anything. You can literally use any ability through Avalanche, which I think is a good hero against. They ban the lifesteal on the Slark, so it makes me feel like they're setting up for like an Omni Knight. I was going to say Doom, but Doom's gone, so they are definitely one of the best carries right now at being able to zone out and just pressure a melee offlane hero. Because I mean, Lifesteal doesn't provide any catch versus the Puck. Lifesteal is very good versus Disruptor, though. I guess against Puck until he does get Coil. Until Ag's Coil, I should say. So, even then. It's not all about the lockdown, though. It's kind of how the matchup works. I really want to see them go for their carry here. I don't know. I want them to leave the Puck flexible, because that you go for Disruptor and Puck, 2 kind of potential support heroes, although Disruptor's a lot of the time being played as a 4 now. But the Puck can always be the 2-3-4, and Disruptor can only be 4-5, so I want them to keep some flexibility, and they will Legion, so they're going to go for a hard Dispel here, which I'm surprised they Legion into the Lich, though. I think the initiation is a little rough, but I like the hard Dispel. I think you can always think about a mag coming through from EHOME as well, but still, with the Lich, just going for a full physical lineup is very difficult. I'm just trying to see if they can go for any, like, forced mobility, or, like, forced movement with the coil, but I think OD looks pretty good so far. It's really good save versus Legion Commander Duel. I think it's great against a Disruptor Glimpse as well. The only issue with the OD is that I think Puck destroys the hero. It's a really nice matchup. I mean, we saw in the last series how Puck went against OD. Just felt that they were able to snowball that game. Maybe that's just because the rest of the team was so far behind, but and at least the Legion, well, like, it still doesn't reveal kind of how they're playing the Disruptor Puck. Like, it can still go mid. TA is available. We might see Team Authentic pick the TA as their last pick in this phase. So, if they go Templar Assassin, I think it's incredibly strong against. I actually think it's a great TA game. They might just pick it now. The only issue, if they do that, they'll probably get Huskered, and it looks like with the Puck getting picked up here, it's actually something I want to speak about. So, hang on, wait. I think I messed it up in my head. Okay, so what the from the looks of it, it looks like they could be baiting a TA coming through, because they ban the Ancient Apparition. TA counters the Puck, so you put the Puck on the 4, and then you pick a really good matchup in the Huskar, and then Huskar gets countered by this Abaddon. But I mean, that's very later into the draft, because if they went TA here, then they could have just banned the Huskar. So regardless, they'll actually pick up the OD. That's how I look at this AA draft. I mean, it could just be a little nice bait and switch, but apart from that, I mean, the AA does nothing as the draft goes on. But I mean, this OD is a really good way to kite out the Abaddon. You have the Astral, so whenever you go in that ulti form, course you just make him completely useless, and you kind of don't care about right-clicking him actually if he does ulti, just to stack up the Sanity's charges. I think it's now you more want to Astral him, just because of course they give you charges as well, but we might see them... What do you lean versus the OD? And they kind of snagged this hero, which I thought was pretty good as well. So I don't know if I'd say it's a block pick, but I think Dai might have been able to fit it in. And they are still going to Templar Assassin though, so they could. I mean, you could put the OD safe lane and put the Husk on mid. Let's see if Authentic actually ban this out. Let's see how greedy EHOME want to go. I think it'll work if they go down that route, but I think you actually have to ban out the Phantom Lancer. Who has first pick? I think EHOME deal with the Phantom Lancer relatively well in the early stages. Late game would be very troublesome, but this is still a great TA game. You don't die through Jewel a lot of the time, because if you have Refraction up for the damage instance, and you do so much damage that it's actually really easy to win the Jewel. It's a great way to get on top of the Disruptor, and you always have kill threat onto the Puck. You don't really kind of care about the silence. You know, the Puck only doesn't have high damage instances as well, like no damage over time, so you don't deal with Refraction. But you see the Drow getting taken away. I like just the Drow with the Templar Assassin. The Gust is super nice this game as well. They don't have too many ways to close the distance. I still think they actually have to ban the Naga instead of the PO.
5 seconds remaining.
You can't let Radiant get a Naga here with the Disruptor Puck. It's just way too strong, and it destroys the Templar Assassin. Has high armor. They don't deal with the illusions, and yeah, you'll see it get banned out. I still think EHOME can go for a PO here if they want to. Like, I can also still see them Huskaring and putting the OD in the safe lane, but... PO looks difficult for Dire if they go for that route.
10 seconds remaining.
Nothing stands out with this last pick. Lifesteal is gone. Troll, you can't pick into an OD. Troll just gets heavily kited this game. I don't know, this is really, really rough, I think, with this last pick. Could you Arc Warden? Maybe, I don't know if they have an Arc Warden player. It does look pretty good though, 3 ranged heroes.
Radiant
I don't know what they're gonna raise it, okay. So it's a good matchup versus the Legion. Someone that can come online really well, really early, so I think Dai have a good timing around like 25 minutes-ish with TA Blink, Deso, BKB. Because the Razor's gonna destroy the lane matchup versus the Legion. Razor's very good against melee heroes. You've got a slow with the Lich as well, so I actually really like this Razor last pick.
5 seconds remaining.
I think Phantom Lancer stands out, honestly. So who's the Abaddon offlane, Tiny 4-5 Lich? What are you worried about? They don't deal with illusions. You gotta be careful to go. It's very hard to static link the right PL as well. You don't really have anyone to give away which hero is the PL. I'm pretty convinced on the hero, but I'm trying to see if there's anything else they can go for. Like anything that's really standing out. They can Viper still, like some mid lane. They don't have a lot of catch on Authentic, so they could OD safe lane or even Amber safe lane. Like, they can go really crazy with this if they want to, because OD can play kind of multiple lanes. It's a lot better mid, but I think if they want to dumpster the TA, you go like Huskar or Viper and put the OD safe. But he does okay against TA. The Arcane Orb takes away 2 refraction charges per hit. It counts as 2 instances as a right click and then including the modifier as well. What? What? There must have been something better than a DK to pick up, man. What is happening? Hang on. So it's a DK mid versus the TA. But what? DK gets destroyed by Razor. Like, that matchup is really bad.
10 seconds remaining.
Oh, I don't know about this, guys. I feel like
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know about this. The one thing I see with the Dragon Knight is that there's a lot of physical damage on Dire, so the high amounts of armor is going to be nice to keep him alive. I guess they wanted a frontline here and summon a pressure towers early, which they don't really have in the OD Legion. So with the Elder Dragon form, you will be able to put a lot more pressure onto the map. But I just can't see why they go for this Dragon Knight. Maybe the control with the OD Puck Disrupt is enough for the Razor not to cause an issue, but I feel like you just static link the Dragon Knight or the Legion, and I don't know if they're gonna win duels. Like, DK doesn't have burst. OD, unless he has a lot of charges, doesn't have burst for the duel as well at the early stage. Like, maybe later the game goes on, but I'm really worried with this EHOME draft. I don't like the Dragon Knight last pick. I think you can, like, Team Authentic, if they really want, can put the Razor mid, which they won't, because it still destroys the Legion. And TA's still going to have a good matchup versus the Dragon Knight. I think that the DK is going to stop you from scaling relatively well into the late game. And one, because you're very physical orientated, and Razor's just going to be able to completely make a fool out of you throughout the fights, honestly. I'm trying to see how this works, honestly. So I think Razor is definitely not one of the best cores to to scale into the late game. But the fact that you're gonna have a really good timing with the TA, you probably need like Blink Des or BKB. Yeah, I would imagine it does, but I don't think you picked the hero to go for the Black Dragon, right? I don't, Does it actually even give you status resistance? Alright, well, how to Radiant play this? I think it is a very good OD game. Like, you're great against the Abaddon, you kite the hero into oblivion, like, the ultimate's kind of pretty much useless. I think it's also a really good way to actually kite the Razor, like, if he's getting aggressive with the static link, you just ashle him until he get BKBs. I think Dai win this game with their BKBs. Oh, all good, man, all good. I'd be nuts if it was status resistance, and they're just gonna make sure they get the good matchup. I mean, I think it. I know you have to. You've got to make sure Razor's going up against the Legion Commander, no matter what. So I would have liked to see Dire actually get like I think this ward has to be here, or even here, and you have to scout out the lane. See, no one's getting any vision for them down here. So both supports are just gonna show. OD is going to run bot though, Razor's going to join him too, so this is definitely not how you want this matchup to go. Razor needs to be against the melee hero and the Legion Commander. Yeah, I like how they've done this. Radiant, actually really good start to the lanes. Legion doesn't show on that bounty fight. They don't see the OD just yet. Maybe, I guess this ward does kind of see, but I think it's definitely not as good as one like here, up here, and somewhere there. I think it's really important to get the lanes right, because now, I mean, they're going to be... Okay, it looks like Razor is going back top. I don't know if they've seen the Legion yet. I don't imagine it looks like they're backed off, so this is really important for them. So at least that's a better start right now for Team Authentic, but I want to keep an attention on how this mid lane matchup goes. I feel like it's pretty TA favored. Like, I mean, I don't think anyone dies mid, but I don't know how much. Like, doesn't Templar Assassin just push out the wave and stop the Dragon Knight from just pushing the tower? I guess once he hits level 6, maybe it is hard for the Templar Assassin to lane, because you have the damage over time with the Elder Dragon form, so once you start, putting pressure on the tower, you kind of just force the TA out, but potentially, I can see that going that way, but he does have the damage mitigation as well with the Breathe Fire early, so it could be okay, actually. I think there could have been better matchups, like I said, the Husker or the Viper, definitely, but this could actually be okay, and this is a heavy prioritization on setting up for the DK. Not a lot of, I mean, this hero doesn't go bottle. He doesn't need this sustain. One with the HP and with the mana as well, because a lot of the time you're not picking up that Dragon Tail early. So very surprised at how they put 2 wards mid, considering I guess they are into a tiny though, so they really want to make sure that that 7-8 doesn't get kind of rotated on too much. That's the only kind of excuse I can see why. Yeah, I guess so. I'm starting to see this a lot more on position 4s as well. The casual headdress. The stats are decent. I think as a disruptor though, you really want to have mangoes. He probably has a couple coming out. Yeah, he's got 2. Okay. So maybe the stats for the bounty rune fight's really nice, and then the classical will just sit in the trees and try and cut through and get a toss back. I mean, I don't think they've seen him just yet, so look at the matchup. Shira's going to get scouted down bot 2. Wait, what? Okay, this is interesting. I mean, it's definitely... Okay, Disruptor actually is going to be in a situation here. Both the supports should be able to... Wait, toss has already been used. Looks like Disruptor doesn't have boots on the Tiny. I thought he didn't toss, honestly. I didn't see the start of the toss. I thought he just ran up somehow and took that much damage, but... I guess my understanding is just very... I guess I don't have an understanding? Like, what's happening? Isn't the Razor matchup versus OD... It's decent. You can still damage through the Astral, I get that, but... It's a really nice way to just counteract him. Like, as soon as he gets aggressive, you just Astral him and you'll lose a little bit, but it's not too much, so... I'm very surprised to see how they're starting to set up the lanes, but, we'll see how it goes, and we'll change our mind as it goes on, but... I mean, at the moment, Abaddon's just making sure he gets a little bit of control, but still, they do at least have the Frost Shield with the Razor, which is nice. The fact that you're going to have this movement speed slow to constantly stay on top of them will make it a little bit easier to drain. Let's pull. Happening here actually. So Commands already picks up the level 2, but like we said, they put a lot of emphasis on the mid lane. I think the big timing from when DK is able to get brought down is kind of early on. I mean, you see the side blades. Wolf is just putting so much pressure on 7E, and the big issue as well, yes, he's got a lot of armor, but the fact that you have the pure damage coming through from the side blades, you don't care about that bonus armor, and the matchup's going early on, it's going relatively well right now. He's also going to go for a Blightstone as well to start, so just helping out furthermore with the little bit of harass, and also kind of counteracting what you get from the Dragon's Blood early on at 6 armor. So ZZQ, but 2 mangoes than Clary. Clary is an interesting choice. A lot of the time we're not seeing too many mangoes starting to get picked up, just with the fact that it's very difficult to get that full duration, but you see, they're just pressuring out this bot side. I'm surprised they're not pulling the wave back, but it looks... They haven't even blocked the camp as well.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Maybe they've just been body blocking it instead? I can't see any D wards coming through, so... at least they will be able to pull this lane back, which is going to be super nice. And it looks like Razor's farming up relatively well. The thing with the Razor, though, is that... It feels like you're a lot more of a lane dominator. It's kind of similar to the Chaos Knight, is that Chaos Knight wants to get aggressive, find kills throughout the laning stage, and really, that's where you get your goal, because you don't farm fast at all. You're not a flash farming hero. Razor, on the other hand, has kind of transitioned into one of them. With when Unstable Current got introduced, the hero felt you could max out something that didn't cost mana and also gave you movement speed. And now the fact that it's also into your ultimate, and now you can go back to maxing out Plasma Field feels super nice. So you've got multiple ways to flash farm the jungle, and also you've got this really good laning stage presence. The only issue with the Razor is that he kind of falls off, but against some matchups I think it's really good as the game goes on. Just the static link, and if you do get that full kind of drain, it feels like I really like to see Razors paired up with some magic immune lockdown, so someone just can't BKB and run away, like the Winter's Curse for an example. I think it would be really nice to see, and we're kind of seeing these heroes start to come back into the meta lately as well. I don't think he got any... Sorry, I just did a quick search on the patch notes. So he didn't get any changes in 7.24, but it just looks like with all these kind of immobile melee heroes in the off lane, it's starting to really start to shine. But take a look at a couple of the other lanes. So DK is still farming out relatively well. He's gone for the 2-1-2 with double bracer. It looks like the Templar Assassin was just able to put a fair bit of pressure onto him. Bot though, look at this slow, they might turn their attention back to the Disruptor, however. Looks like they're going to leave that kill for the Razor, so nice find for them. Second kill of the game over for Team Authentic. Right before the bounties as well, so it definitely does secure both of them. But in the meantime, though, Commands a couple of stick charges to work around with. Insanity doesn't have any abilities up to close the distance here, so Tiny will be fine. And he did get one of the bounty runes as well. So nice little snag for them. Looks like Dai should be able to claim all three. He's going to get very greedy here. I mean, he'll get the bounty, but he's going to pay for his life probably. Insanity's got the abilities back up. Not a lot of levels though, and I mean, actually can't use the second one in the Waning Rift, so Commands, he's gonna get out scot-free here, scotch-free. I can't remember if it's Scott or Scotch. I know someone told me a while ago, but damn, Woozy? Got stick charges. Legion's on top of the creep wave here, but kind of actually more helping out with the moment of courage. But even then, in this bottom lane, they're just going to continue kind of pressure out the OD. If OD falls back to the jungle, the hero really starts to suffer, and they haven't sounded out Commands just yet. Razor's falling incredibly low. The Frost Shield will give him some protection, but still, even then, is it enough? And the answer is no. They'll trade both the cores here. Disruptor might end up getting dived as well, but Commands doesn't have the abilities available. Now, here comes the push. I love this rotation for the Puck, just joining this mid lane. Puck's not going to do a whole lot level 3, but TA just give up this lane? I mean, she hasn't killed up just yet, so it looks like there's nothing they can actually do. Scot-free? Scotch and Scott does yeah. I don't know, I can't differentiate. I'll look it up after this. Actually, I really like the support rotations. As soon as Dragon Knight hits that level 6, you see a lot of pressure start to build on the tower, and the supports just come and help him out. Be kind of like a bodyguard protecting him, and this is really nice chip damage as well. Like, you'll take it. You're not going to get that first tower with the Elder Dragon form, but they're going to try and toss him back, Insanity. Gotta survive. Let's see. Yeah, it is called scot-free, not Scotch. The phrase scot-free was first used in reference to tax levies, so each person in the town would be obligated to pay a share of the Scot tax, which was called their lot. Thus, initially, the term more or less just implied you got out of paying your taxes. A little bit of history for all you lads out there. So they're going to send the Razor top. Finally, I mean, I don't know. Is the Abaddon matchup in the landing stage that bad versus the OD? I think once you hit level 6, then it really starts to get difficult. But try and toss back YK. Nice use in the silence, but now with the orb, still able to jaunt himself away. This is the big issue about the Tiny into the Puck, that you can always use your abilities through these mini stuns, and that's why the hero does struggle very much with the catch. Okay, so at least now Razor's finally top, but it feels like Legion's got this much of a good head start that he should still be able to lane. And I mean, he's already got phase boots as well, so that bonus movement speed. What's good, El Nasty? How you doing, man? So that bonus movement speed is going to be really nice at just getting away from the static link, and TA's just not showing mid at all. I mean, he's farming incredibly well throughout the jungle. I think now being level 8, you can kind of just... Apologies. The ulti? He did, he dropped the hammer. So I think now being level 8, you can just kind of spam out the lane and then fall back to the jungle. But you see, they do deal with the refraction relatively well with the damage over time on DK. So Wolf does have to be careful here, but... just the fact that 70 is so tanky. So this is interesting to see how this mid matchup actually goes. It looks like through the early levels it's decent, but once Dragon Knight hits level 6, you just kind of zone back the Templar Assassin, and they're going to send Woozy mid as well to try and protect the tower, so he should have a little bit better over time. I think this is super important. Just try and hold this tower as long as possible. I'm actually relatively surprised at how well this DK has been able to play this. Of course, it's still going to be a little bit behind the TA, I should say, but this tower is important, because if they can get this tower, the timing you want to get it is before the 10-minute interval, because then the Dragon Knight can rotate top, get this outpost, claim the bounties, and then put pressure on this tower once you get the catapult wave as well. And I think as the way DK, and you see, he's actually already going to even go top and try and help out. Maybe he just wants a bounty, but see how he wants to play it. And yeah, I think the way DK needs to play this is that the hero doesn't flash farm relatively well. Nothing compared to what a Templar Assassin's going to be able to do, but now mid, Abba's got the ultimate, so he should be fine. But yeah, you don't deal flash farm relatively well as a Templar Assassin, so the way to kind of counteract the difference in the net worth is just being able to siege towers and constantly get that little bit of net worth swing for you and your team as well. So it'll be interesting to see if they can put a heavy emphasis onto these towers, but Razor will get dragged back and will end up falling. I mean, it feels like Razor's got no lane to go now, and all of a sudden, this is quite a good start for Shiro to 1-1. He's going to go for a 4-staff, so no real surprise this game. 4-staff's a really good way to cut out the 2 slows that come through from the Lich Abaddon. They don't have lockdown right now. I mean, it's kind of just the Avalanche, so I mean, it feels like Poc's going to have an incredible game. And yeah, it's just the Force as well really kites out the Razor, which is the main thing. The TA2. Because without high attack range, I mean, it's just a great 4-staff game. Like, I am a huge fan of the Aghanims, of course, and I still think he might go for it as the game goes on, just with how good of a game it is to kite the Razor and the Abaddon, and literally just anyone on Dire, I think, are very reliant on not getting kited. I mean, Zenity, he's able to keep out. They don't still too much damage as well, but in the meantime, 70, yeah, he's going to use the catapult wave with the ultimate. We'll be able to take this tower, so in the meantime, they are going to take a little bit of damage on their tier 1 tower. It's not going to do too much, although this is still 2 points in the Curse of Avernus, so they do have to be careful, but they can even rotate the Disruptor. I mean, Disruptor does have 3 points in the Glimpse, so they will be able to drag back the Abaddon still, but they're on the back line. They might try and turn this one around. Glimpse back. Has the ultimate ready and waiting. It's going to get a fair amount of heals here, and now they're still going to be careful, Dire. They don't have the greatest way to counter-initiate these fights, and with the core drop, the Abaddon will not be able to disengage. They'll find the first dual victory of the game for YK, and they're going to be able to cut off Sieto as well. Chiro just needs to get in range, and it looks like with the 4-staff, this will enable him to do just so. That's the Astral. Still gets a little bit of damage stolen, but with Radiant collapsing over onto the Rave, so they even dropped the Static Storm too, so maybe a little bit of heavy commitment onto the Razor, but you'll take it, sir. I mean, I'm very impressed at how EHOME are playing this, and I guess this is, I've kind of learned something here with how this mid matchup fares, and I am also very surprised at how they started the laning stage. Alright, well, Wolf just rushed Deso. I mean, he hasn't even gone double Wraith or anything like that, so the good thing is that TA's top of the net worth, and I still think Dire mainly have their timing around BKBs. Both the cores very reliant on them. So if they can get them at a good timing, and you see Raze is actually just rushing it. So it's going to be super important from Dire to be able to get this. And I think we'll probably just see them farm up until they're able to get to that stage. And until then, Radiant, do they want to keep making a lot of plays across the towers? You see Dragon Knight has this ultimate available. He's also going for a Halberd. And, by golly gosh, this is quite the Halberd game to say the least. I mean, the fact that you've got a crap load of HP regen, you haven't even maxed out your Dragon's Blood as well. So, I mean, the Sungeon, sorry, I should say, now with the changes to the Sunge, of course, giving you amplification with your HP regen and your life steal, it does feel super, super nice. Anything that Sunge builds into So I'm a big fan of the halberd
Dire's structures
on this
are
hero, and just the fact that two of the cores on Dire are very reliant on their physical damage. They're gonna need a medallion, I think, this game, 17.
Dire's middle tower
There's a lot of damage here. Doesn't have any mobility, so it looks like they're gonna chase it down to the tower with the Chain Frost. It should enable them to get the kill. This is that is the matchup with the Razor into the Dragon Knight. Very immobile hero. Once he gets the halberd, of course, it's going to help out, but that's a nice pick-off for them. In the meantime, though, they do lose the Tiny down bot. Another kill for the Outward Devourer, and the hero doesn't really pressure towers too well. But you see, they're even going to be able to get this T1 tower, but it looks like Dire will force a couple of rotations, even with only 2 points in the Frost Shield. There is a blink already completed on the Templar Assassin, and they're going to move forward here. They'll obliterate the Disruptor. They do get the glimpse back on the TA, so it's going to stop any follow-up on the Outward Devourer. But now with a couple of rotations bot, let's see if Radiant want to protect this. Do they have TPs? They do. A couple are available. Unfortunately, Legion's so close to the halberd. He's got it actually, just needs it delivered, but it looks like they'll dip out a bot instead. So they'll probably lose this tower, especially with Wolf coming down as well with the minus armor. So I really want to see the Legion Commander go for armor after the halberd. I think your initiation and your catch is really good this game with the POC Disruptor and a DK. Not to mention, OD is pretty good at catching heroes as well. I actually don't think the Legion needs a Blink Dagger. I'd much rather see him go for maybe another Force Staff and then into some armor. Probably not the greatest Lotus game, but Solar Crest is really nice on the OD. I'm trying to remember, it does give you attack speed, right?
Thanks.
Yeah, attack speed is nuts on OD, just amplifying how many stacks you're able to get for the ultimate. So I think Solar Crest is great this game. I think Vlad's is also super good. Sorry, I'm missing a couple of kills here.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Wolf is starting to make a lot of plays across the map with this Blink Deso, but they're going to try and protect the tower. Looks like they will be fine. So they got double halberd coming through this game, which is really nice. It's also good on the Legion. Because of course it's also going to amplify his life steal. What is it, 30%? Yeah, 30 self-HP regen and life steal amp. Status resistance is always pretty nuts as well. Can never complain about having a little bit of status resistance. But the Lich is going to get dragged back here. He does have support on the backline. He's going to try and get the D-Ward instead, but the Jewel will counteract this one. Josh Shield wears off the last second as well, but it looks like they get the kill. Not the Jewel victory, unfortunately. You see, OD's also going armor, so this just goes to show that armor is going to be so important this game. And they're going to be able to get a T1 down bot. So this is all the outer tower, I should say all the T1 towers now down and out. Dragon Knight still has his ultimate with the halberd, so double halberd now at this timing. This is going to be right before the BKB, so TA's got to be careful if you hard commit in a fight right now before getting BKB, but they'll find TA. Radiant, they're a little away from this, but looks like Linsanity getting a bit aggressive here. They're kind of split right now from EHOME. They do have to be careful. They're going to link back up down bot, but POC doesn't have Coil to help out with this. Just waiting on the high ground, protecting this potentially commands. They just need the vision. Nice blink away. He's got a blink already? What? 1-1-1. I guess he does have 33 last hits. Oh, jeez, man. Auron is such an... The hero is like 50-50. It feels like you really don't flash farm fast at all on like heroes like Abaddon or Omni. I think Legion's a lot better. I guess they did give Legion a much better start though than the Abba, but trying to find the POC, it's not going to work. As his boots are traveling with the very minimal catch that Dire have, POC's just going to play the split push game. Constantly force out the map. Jeez, that was a lot of damage. I like the Bassi and the Buckler as well. POC has very bad starting armor. I actually want to double check after they try and find commands here. I think it is 0 starting armor, or potentially 1, so the fact that it's going to have, give you a little bit of protection against the physical damage, but Dire They're going to smoke up as well. Wolf has his BKB completed. They'll run into YK here, but this guy's dragged back. They're going to steal a crap load of damage with the coil and hold Silver into place. Halbert as well, stopping the damage output right now from the Templar Assassin. They'll drag back the Razor. Will keep disrupting some space, but on the backline, however, OD is going to drop the hammer and try and disengage. However, they'll just lose the Lich EHOME. Uh-oh. 3 heroes going to end up falling. That's the BKB timing, and that should probably be Roshan as well. They're going to get straight inside the pit with 2 points in Curse. I don't know why they're not doing Roche. I mean, it's literally free for them. They have to get an objective out of that, otherwise this is really big that they don't. And they're not. Okay. That is still big. That's exactly the BKB timing we're talking about. And our Razor's going to be closer and closer to his BKB as well. Radiant do have a scan if they want to try and use it for Roche. But yeah, I like how Puck's playing. Just, he doesn't have phase shift, which is a little interesting considering I think it destroys the Tiny, but I'm actually very surprised. He's just going to TP out. They have the toss, but they won't find him here, so literally just being a nuisance across the map. Like, Dai get nothing out of that. Like, yeah, they find 3 kills. It's nice considering with, you know, what the lead was for EHOME.immortal at that stage, but, you know, they've got just under 1,000 gold net worth lead right now for Dire. The experience is actually well and truly in their favor, which is kind of surprising. I guess this kind of comes down to the Templar Assassin with how freaking farm she is. Holy shit. What? Wait, what the Hang on. What the Alright, so she's a beast. 19 compared to the 15 right now. Jesus. Razor's also well and truly caught up, it looks like, just behind the Dragon Knight. And this is, you know, the laning stage went, I think, a lot more different than what I was expecting it to. I think it went a lot better for Radiant, but, you know, this is starting to show that the Razor factor against a very immobile hero in the DK. And you see they're both going to go for Blink Dagger. So, no little armor protection, and now Dire, with this Aegis, they're going to have a very big advantage right now. A second life for the Templar Assassin and double BKB for their lineup. They might be able to... No, looks like they won't get there in time. I don't think he just bought the Blink, but it hasn't got it delivered just yet. So, I mean, they just have to delay this, I think, on the POC. He's got to do something incredible to try and counteract this push that's going to come through, because I mean, they'll take the tier 1 tower mid, and I can imagine they can either go try and run through bot next and take the tier 2 as well. And Wolf is going to be going for a Hex, so you recognize that they're really lacking catch, and now as soon as you get the Hex, Pock's going to play a lot more careful, and you're just going to shred through the supports as well. 1 Hex will be enough lockdown to find them, and Zato, gotta be careful though. Ode can find this kill. He's going to drop the hammer as well. The damage won't be enough for the BKB getting popped, and now they might think about turning it, however. Command's forced up away. They still have to toss up, and through the BKB, Shearer's not going to have the damage output, but it will about to expire. But off to the northern side, however, it's going to be fine. They're still trying to catch the Abaddon, but we'll be able to pop the coil here. He's got the blink up in a couple of seconds, but looks like they'll be fine. That is a massive, massive play for Radiant. They drop the hammer, yes, but now that's a 10-second BKB charge on cooldown. They also get the kill over to the Lich. Slowing, you know, this just comes down to the fact that Linsanity is constantly pushing out the map, and it's a really important play from the POC. I don't know how he didn't kill that gateway, but... Wait, he dodged it? That was really nice timing. Okay. And 70's going to be careful, Dire. They're trying to cut him off here as well. Commands. Nice blink away. They still have Tiny's blink in a couple of seconds with the drag back. He's going to pop the BKB, but it's a little too late. Wolf. Uh-oh, they're going to disengage Radiant again. What is happening in this game? BKB's on cooldown now. They're going to have Aegis for another 3 minutes, luckily enough, but God's going to rotate forward. They drop the Static Storm. The Duel as well. They'll deal with the first life for the Templar Assassin, but even then, isn't enough. Razor with the BKB. It's going to try and deal with the supports with the Static Link, but it doesn't matter. He's stolen 155 damage, but they're just cutting him out right now with no BKB for some protection. The pure damage zero. He'll rip through him, and now with the Presty attack as well, he's got the bonus attack speed to try and deal with them right now. The blink off to the side. GA controlled. Hell, but there's no disengage here coming through. Commands is going to reinitiate with the blink forward. He won't be able to catch out this outward devourer. Now Wolf is going to counter initiate once again. He's got his own blink back up, max health. He's going to try and close the distance. YK has overwhelming odds for the movement speed with the toss forward. They'll close the distance. Still going to make it difficult to catch him. Even with that disarm, they deal with the first fight for the Templar Assassin. I don't know who Razor actually static linked that fight, but I mean, what an incredible start to it though for EHOME. And I'd say you're pretty happy with how that fight went for EHOME, honestly. I think they scale a lot better into the late game considering their supports is a Disruptor and a Puck. You know, Aghanims just completely kites the Razor and the Templar Assassin, and also once Disruptor gets Ags, this hero's late game potential is just so far superior to any other supports. And he also went for the Thunderstrike damage, so he will be able to take a little bit of farm throughout the jungle. The only issue with Position 5 Disruptor, apologies, is that you really want to max out your Glimpse and Kinetic Field before anything else. But I think Dire are on a big timer right now, and you see they're just going to smoke up once again. Your Wolf is keeping them in this game by far, but they do find the Disruptor here. Not really they target the want, however, just to support. They commit a couple of blinks as well, so they won't be able to close the distance, or will they? Shiro trapped up. I mean, Puck is playing this game flawlessly. It doesn't even matter that Lin Sanity's got 3 deaths. Just kite the game. I wouldn't mind seeing him go for a blink, honestly. I don't know what the Glimmer Cape does, considering, like, there's not a lot of magic damage on Dire. I'd much rather, like, an E-Blade build-up eventually. Or even just a blink initiation. Interesting choice. We'll see if he commits. Alright, well, he does commit for it, okay. It is nice. I mean, it's just really nice protection against, to keep one of the cores alive, so, no doubt, I mean, I still think it's a really good item. And Puck's gonna get a lot this game considering, I mean, how farmed she actually is. Position 4 ahead of the 3 right now on Dire, which it's showing. I mean, that's why they're not as far ahead in the net worth when, you know, TA's 18,000 gold, you know, 6,000 ahead of the rating, you know, highest core. You give this, I mean, I imagine the Quickening Charm to probably the Puck, right? I want to know who they give the Sliver to. Razor's gonna hold it, okay. I mean, I love how he's playing this. They're all kind of in the wrong direction. I guess they do have the ward here, so they saw the Dire movements, and I think Dire, yeah, they're just gonna try and put pressure on towers. This second Aegis feels like it's really the timing from Dire, considering they didn't get anything out of the first one, and they're gonna force Radiant back before they get set up right now, and Wolf will put a lot of damage onto this tower, considering with the Glyph on cooldown. It's not really beating into it just yet, trying to deal with the creep wave, but you see how much damage they have, and off to the side though, they still don't have 7E. Trying to finish this Berker B. It's going to stop a little bit of the control. They do have a lot of slows on Dire, which is annoying. So the Berker B is going to be relatively nice there, but they're trying to set up a bait down bot. Radiant well aware of what's potentially happening, however.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Looks like this will be it. So they'll back off. Just at least they get the tier 2 tower. Radiant, they don't trade anything out of it as well. Commands actually finds a Dragonite. Whilst further back, he might just be able to TP out now. I mean, they just use all their stuns. He's instead just going to run himself away. He doesn't actually have a TP. Be able to shield it off in the side, actually. Sorry, Templar Assassin's going to drop. Now they're going to think about taking his fight here. The outpost control. 7E's going to lose a fair bit of damage here. Razor with his arm coming through, but still isn't enough, however. Dragonite falling low, Glimmer Cape some protection. Isn't enough, however. They'll stay on top of him. They know exactly where he is with the static link. Nice BKB stops the drag back, and it looks like DK is going to drop to 1-for-1 so far across the map at Radiant. They haven't rotated enough heroes, however. OD without the TP scroll up. So they'll find double. I don't know what happened with oh, he tried to help it over and he got stuck. That's a big yikers. Ooh, Rip Corio? What? You good there, brother? Poor old little man. Huh. Blink, Jewel, they'll find the Razor, Frost Shield, a lot of protection here, but they've got the hammer, they're going to be able to drop this, doesn't deal with the Jewel, but still, with 3 controlled, EHOME, a clean 1-2-3 punch.
visitors to the outer door.
Alright. Not a bad fight. I love that kind of setup, actually. You go for the Legion duel, and then Dire kind of collapse and group up for the coil. That's actually a really nice way to start the fight. As soon as you duel, you know the Lich is going to try and close the distance. You know the Abaddon as well to try and get these, protection with through the abilities. So I wonder if that's how they're going to play a lot of the other team fights as well. But I think, what is he? He's got an Aeon Disc on the Pox. So they're going to make sure he gets his abilities off. Further allows him to split push out the map as well. And they're getting a lot of farm. I mean, Radiant are currently the ones with the net worth advantage. And
Behold!
I love how I'm kind of being, just really thought Dire's lineup was going to be able to make this work. I think they still can, especially with Roshop now. They have to get this Aegis. Dire are not going to scale into the late game at all. So they've got to make sure they get to that stage, and they're actually going to bait the puck down bot.
Dire's bottom tower
Pretty
is under
survivable
attack.
with the Glimmer Cape and the Force Staff, considering Dire don't have the greatest lockdown to stop the puck from getting this off. But now they're going to try and make a little bit of a rotation back to the mid lane, knowing there's a potential for Roshan to be back alive. They're not going to get there in time, though. They're still going to sit the higher ground with their observe wards and maybe still bait the puck. But, this is exactly what Dire needed. This second Roshan, incredibly important for them, and they're going to be able to snag this one.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
What happened to first to 10? Oh, man, I'm not sure. I don't pay attention to that. Someone in chat might be able to help you, but
Illusion!
I'm going to... I don't even know, honestly.
The battle. Retreat to my house.
My only issue with how much farm the Pock's getting is that the Disruptor's not really getting a lot. Then dig 10 8 to EHOME. Do you just remember that? You think? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you remember that or you looked it up, because I don't know where you can look that up. What's the probability? 65? Alright. I want to check in. Oh, it still looks like it's pretty even after they got that Aegis, and they're going to smoke up though. So TA wants his Bloodthorn, just a lot of pick off Insanity. They know around about where he is, and the smoke's going to pop now with the blink off the high ground. They'll get the Hex, but they're going to bait the Pock now with a duel. You can't really deal with the Templar Assassin, and they've got to be careful if they actually get the duel victory on TA. Legion, she'll get brought down, Halbert won't be enough protection. Now Linsanity, she's going to disengage with the Scepter, will counteract that Jaunt, and a quick meld strike brings her down. That's the issue with the TA against the Legion Commander. You don't kill her throughout duel. You don't deal with refraction. The hero's just really, really difficult, and it's so easy to actually, snag the duel victory for yourself, and that's a massive fight for them. 2 big kills. Puck's also dead for 60 seconds, so it's going to stop a lot of the split push shenanigans that Radiant have been trying to output this game. You see OD's doing as much as he can, but this is high ground time potentially. Mid's not the greatest way to go high ground, so it's going to be difficult. 7-8's also popped the ultimate, so this is now being on cooldown. Man's trying to get the initiation. I'll glyph up the creep wave to protect it. Shearer's going to start stacking up the charges now, but he's going to be careful how far he commits. But at the Aghanims, you can't use the Ash Shield that aggressively. They'll drop the Static Storm, but no kinetic field follow-up. Your Scepter gives Tiny a little bit of space here, but straight on top of the OD. Has a Force Staff, will be able to destroy it over on the last hit, but the Chain Frost is bouncing back and forth here. Even though the Abaddon still has his ultimate available, they're going to try and chase him to the ends of the earth potentially. They'll kite this bad boy out, but now the Astral on cooldown, sure. Now we get the BKB, 15 charges. He'll shred through the Tiny, straight onto the Templar Assassin now, but he's got the BKB, got the Aegis as well. Legion just not doing enough damage. Instead, look at the dual victory over the Templar Assassin. Legion, no buyback and a force off of the high ground. But the Astral, however, stops this one. Still control with the coil, kinetic field as well, stopping any retreat. But Dire, they haven't lost the Aegis. They can continue to take this fight if they want to, but the Glimpse back Wolf, he's already popped the Berkabee. He's got to be careful with the Frost Shield. They'll chuck the melt. Sentry's going to get dropped, but it doesn't matter. The first life will get claimed. Can EHOME take the second, however? Dire's still relatively healthy. Frost Shield's going to be up in a couple of seconds as well. Abaddon pops the cheese straight onto the Upward Devourer. A first force, a second force. Will getting back inside the base, and now it looks like the Templar Assassin with the silence can't get the refraction off in time. 7E is still incredibly tanky here. Turns around, stun on the Razor, but will be able to counteract this one. Still another glimpse back. Die, they just can't disengage right now. The glimpses makes it so difficult. Finally, this might be it. Not a lot forced. I mean, they don't take high ground. That was your Aegis as well. And I honestly think that the only timing die I have is every ages, and they're still gonna fall further and further off. I feel like every time I say second ages for a lineup, they just get third and somehow win the game off a really good team fight, but I genuinely do think this game going on is going to get so difficult. And you actually see Shiro's going through Assault Cure. I don't know why Legion's going BKB and not an AC. I love attack speed on the OD, but I think your Legion should be the one to get it.
Invisibility.
Like, he needs armor. I don't like this. As long as someone gets it, though, I don't care who. Even Dragonite gets it, for that matter. But, I mean, you see, it's kind of just the cause right now. The Drow. Fuck me, man. The TA, the OD. '26 bonus damage as well. You love to see that. What level? What's the level? We're close to 25. We are. TA's already 25. I wonder when she got that. So the amount of lockdown that TA has now makes it really difficult for the puck to actually play with Blink. Find the Lich. Not a lot of damage coming through. Only 64 dual damage. She'll turn into 90, however. On the coil on the backline. Abaddon controlled, but with the ultimate, we'll be able to dispel off the stun. This is the good thing about the Abaddon into the puck, is that your teammate can just run out of coil, break it, and you dispel it straight away with the shield, and you can do the same thing. But how close is so OD's closing the distance. I mean, I imagine you go for the arcane orb damage. The BKBs are starting to get lower and lower, which is incredibly important for Dire. Once they get to the 5-second stage, it's gonna make really easy to kite them throughout the fights. You see 6 second on Razor, 7 second on the Templar Assassin. Chiro's got a 9 second bad boy as well. But there's a Lotus Orb actually on the Dragonite, so I guess now the fact that Templar Assassin's got a Bloodthorn, got a Hex as well, they just kind of want this little bit of protection. I think the armor is still nice as well. I just don't see the... I know he had it last fight, but I didn't bring it up then. Fuck. They have a ward on the higher ground, Insanity. Rain rips up in a couple of seconds thanks to the quick thing charm, and he should be fine, but they're gonna get the nice aim on this. Right. Oh, actually, they're gonna trap set. Further out to the eastern side. Blink's gonna be up in a couple of seconds, but looks like the TP's fast enough, and they're just gonna walk up the high ground here. Abaddon still has the ultimate available. Shiro's stacking up the charges here. They've got to be careful. Then McCabe gives him some protection. They're going to toss back the Dragonite as well. Lotus Orb will be up to dispel off the silence. They chuck up the Astral. Some protection, but now it won't be used to counteract the Abaddon ultimate. A quick blink away from 7E. Puck's going to try and regroup up with the boys mid, however. They do have to be careful. OD's already got 8 charges now with the BKB pop. Straight onto the Dragonite. Do they have a force up to counteract this one? Now the BKB will turn around on the Tiny. Not incredibly tanky with the pure damage now. Wolf's going to get the Hex in the backline, but the Astral will be able to keep him alive. Now the Jewel as well coming through. The BKB refraction, they're not doing enough damage to the Drow. Looks like they will be able to find Wolf. Blows him up. Hammer drop. Shield's just not going to be enough. Now Shiro's going to turn their attention as well. Stun off the side. 70 finds the Abaddon. Ulti's going to be up in a couple of seconds here if we can get it in the meantime. Somehow staying alive, but 70 with the blink forward. Finds commands. Next target is going to be the Abaddon. Gets the ultimate. They're just going to counteract him here. Kinetic field. Stopping this disengage. They're going to be careful. They actually don't have buyback on the Templar Assassin available. They're trying to fall back out, but sending a quick dive here will end up falling Razor. And he close to distance out with the kinetic field gives him some protection. Puck's going to buy back as well. I don't know why I keep thinking Drow is Templar Assassin. Like, they don't fucking look the same.
Double damage.
I'm actually getting triggered. Cheeky little sell bar for that buyback, and so we're going to walk up here. And no buyback until the dead heroes. They do have the repair kit though, so it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to walk up at 7E. He's got a double damage room right now. They got the detection. Abaddon from the cave won't be able to protect you here, but still with the ultimate. Sure. Not too many charges right now in the Senator's Eclipse, so it looks like with the Tiny being up in a couple of seconds, they're going to back off here, so... I mean, they take a relatively good fight. I mean, I think the Puck brought back? Who brought back on Die? Just Lich brought back, Puck brought back for Radiant. unfortunately, Roshan isn't up. They don't really take it very fast, considering Legion doesn't have too much damage, and DK's going for a lot more utility route. But a lot of gold going back their way, even though Authentic have the net worth lead. I'm surprised they didn't jump up as much as it did, but even then, I mean, what, TA was 9-1, and who got that kill? So Shira got the kill. It was only 460 gold. Yeah. I guess they did split the spree another time as well. But even then, YK's now up to 90 damage. Any more 25s as well? No. We're closing in for the OT along with the Razor as well. But the next big fight's going to be Roshan. You see, Commands and Linsanity both just trying to split push out the map here. Tiny can do it. Tiny can do it. Oh, that's big as well. He popped the Ion disc actually. Tiny can do it relatively well with the Avalanche Toss. I mean, two of these abilities fully kill the wave, and you've got the Ewer Scepter as well for some mana regen, and the fact you have Fated Brooch as well is super nice. So you see both the position 4s on each team just really doing as much as they can to try and counteract the waves, but they're going to walk in Roche, and this Ward on the high ground doesn't scout this out. There's a slither of protection here. They cannot sneak this. I mean, this is Refresher Shard right now. Guys, they're just going to get this for free.
Roshan has fallen to the dark river.
I mean, Wolf gets Aegis. I don't see who they gave Refresher Shot to just yet. They might actually take on TA for double BKB, but they're going to take the fight right now from Radiant. They're still going to get popped with not a lot of protection. They've already stolen so much damage right now for the Razor. He's going to try and close the distance with Refresh Shot. It's going to get popped. He's got another BKB life to work around with the Blade Veil. It's going to go through. He's going to be careful here. YK won't be able to get the dual victory, but off the side, however, Shira starting to stack up the charges. Then she's got the damage. Have a look at it go. The Island Storm. They double the charge. Razor, triple kill for him. They've got a couple of buybacks, so they're going to try and close the distance 70 with the protection of the Glimmer Cable. Drop the Static Storm. It isn't the Aghanims, however, but Shira, another life to work around with. The pop the cheese, the BKB as well. Wolf has this Aegis. I mean, Razor, god damn. Just got the level 25, so the attack speed with all that damage stolen, he just shredded through them. They don't have any armor protection on Radiant, and now they could just end the game if they want to with how fast they push. They have the minus armor thanks to the Templar Assassin.
Radiant's middle barracks.
DK no buyback for 80 seconds. I mean, he used it for that. No one's got buyback right now from Radiant. They're going to blink forward with the Blade Mail. Shoot a lot of protection right now. They just can't get on top of the Razor. They'll be fine. A nice call in the backline. Sinister's Gaze. Odie's going to have to BKB up in a couple of seconds, but looks like Razor trying to kite her out here. They'll get the Astral, press the attack as well. Shura's going to try a man fight, but dead for 120 seconds. Authentic. They're going to be able to do this here with both the cords down. Dire, what an incredible last fight. Somehow they sneak Roche, somehow they get everything out of it. And Radiant, think about taking that fight. I mean, I don't know what just happened. Alright, well, double Eye of the Storm, double BKB is pretty nutty. I thought they were maybe going to give it for the TA for double BKB, Refraction, and also, I mean, double Meld can burst someone down really fast, but just the lockdown with double Hex and Bloodthorn, but, man, I was mistaken, damn. Eye of the Storm is nuts. The amount of minus armor they had that fight, and I think this is so important, the fact that the OD, I mean, went for a moonshot at the end, because I don't think she was going to get Assault Cuirass fast enough, and I'm not a huge fan of this kind of Blink Dagger route from YK. I think you had to kind of go for utility in the armor, and I think kind of this had to be an Assault Cuirass. I mean, you can say this is hindsight 2020, of course, but you see in the end that there's so much physical damage on Dire. That's literally it. Like, it's only the Razor and the Templar Assassin. Like, I want to see the damage graph. Like, anyway, like Abaddon 16k, Lich 14, Commands 14. Look at the rest. I mean, actually, Razor had so much. That's probably because the last fight, honestly. Is it no? What, for TA? For who? I thought Nullify was good. I mean, I don't think they needed Hex and Bloodthorn. But, I mean, it's fine with going both. The crits are nice. They definitely needed one Hex or Bloodthorn on Templar Assassin to stop the puck from split pushing in. you sure it got to the stage where, you know, Puck kind of died a couple of times, and the fact that, so the Puck, I mean, I think they had to give a little bit of farm priority to the Disruptor. Like, didn't have Aghanims. Puck went for some interesting items as well with the Glimmer and the Aeon. I think it got to the stage with the Aeon Disc to stop the TA from bursting you down, but I thought the Aghanims is just such a good way to kite the TA and the Razor. They just pop BKB, they don't give a damn, and you know, we have put heavy emphasis on the first BKB timing on Team Authentic when they could kind of just take over the game with that first Aegis as well. You know, we didn't really see it. It took them actually a third Roche, and exactly what we said throughout the game as well. I thought if it got to third Roche, then EHOME should be able to carry as the game goes on, but you know, so it feels like literally every time I say that, the team stinks Roche, they take an incredible fight, and then somehow they just win. And I think EHOME, like, you've got a ward on the higher ground, but you know they can just smoke in, or you know the ward doesn't see the full entrance, so you've got to make sure, like, in a game like that, you just can't give Aegis Cheese Refresher Shard literally over for free, and then try and take a fight in the river. I think it kind of comes back to the Dragonite. I think that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I think it was able to work throughout the early game, but the hero late game just gets countered by the Razor, like, really hard. You don't do any magic damage, so it doesn't matter. And they just couldn't kite out, you know, the BKBs. They were just using them perfectly, and that's why I think Radiant needed some way to counteract the items from Authentic, and in the end, I mean, they just weren't able to get to that stage. I think if Disruptor has Ags, I think they actually win this game. Which is a bit rough to talk about. That was a rough game for me to cast. I made a lot of mistakes, so I apologize. But that was a good game to watch though. I'm Authentic. They take it. Not what I was thinking, honestly. I thought they were, if they were gonna win, it would have been kind of around that second Aegis. Who win first map? This is their brother. Team Authentic. That was a good game to watch though. Wasn't very one-sided. What just happened? Oh, you... whoops.
Everybody gets stuck.
Dude, they went straight into that next game. Give me a sec.
remaining.
Alright. What do we got? Enchantress Lich. They went Enchantress Lich. Oh, okay.
Sky Wrath Maid.
Yuck. I mean, what? I think you ban the Void if you're Radiant. I think you'd be crazy if you don't. So my issue already with the draft is the fact that I think Sky position 5 is not very good, and I
5 seconds.
the reason why I think Sky has to be played with either a Legion Commander in the offlane or like a Clockwork, and the fact that you go for a Doom who can't set up for your Mystic Flare makes this really worrisome. Ah, fuck! I burnt my finger. All right, well I can't light that candle. It's too low. Oh.
10 seconds remaining.
Ban of the Oracle. Okay, I like the Oracle ban. Just a really big counter to Sky. The magic resistance is super nice.
Dire team back.
Alright, what do we think? So, Radiant are actually going to pick up the Enchantress Lich to start. So, Enchantress is turning into one of the strongest position 3s at the moment. The impetus is so incredibly strong to zone out heroes early. I mean, once you hit level 3 is kind of super nice. The issue with Enchantress is that getting tri-laned, kind of sucks. You don't really want to put too many points in your Nature's Attendance. You want to see Pugna? EHOME really like their Pugna. I mean, I imagine Authentic will actually ban it, considering I think it's good against the Enchantress here, but let's see if they do ban it. And I mean, you've got a Lich for physical damage protection. Enchantress is pretty good against physical damage with the attack speed slow, so I think Pugna works really well. I don't know how EHOME play it though. It looks like they've played it twice in their matches up against Eclipse yesterday. It looks like they do like the Pugna actually, but my issue with them going for it is that you can't have the flex potential of putting him in the offlaner as a 4, considering Doom and Sky's already picked up. So I think EHOME have really drafted themselves into quite a hole. Like, they're not going to have any flexible potential with this draft. I do at least like the magic damage from the Sky, because it deals with the Enchantress, but you're going to need a stun follow-up, and I still want Authentic to ban the Void. It's, you can't, I'm thinking of heroes against the Doom. Like, they can Lifestealer, I think, on Authentic. It's really good against the Doom. As soon as you have, like, Halberd, and as soon as you have Maelstrom Halberd, you're, like, in fighting shape. It doesn't take you long to get that with how fast you farm now, because the attack speed. So the fact that you have status resistance, which is a really good way to counteract the Doom ultimate, and you can kind of just actually man fight. You know, your Halberd gives you... Ooh, they've been the Morphling. Are they gonna... Alright, that's why. Also, the Halberd's going to increase your lifesteal amplification, so if you get Doom, you just turn around and fight, honestly.
Radiant team pick.
Phantom Assassin.
Omni for Doom also? Do you mean Radiant should pick Omni? This PA is very interesting. The crits are nicer against the Enchantress. Also, the evasion makes it very hard to play around. They don't have any way to deal with lifesteal through Rage though, which I'm a little worried about. Like, no lockdown or anything like that. So maybe they can mag. I think EHOME might be setting up for that potentially. They're looking for position 4 on Authentic, because you want to put the Enchantress offlane, right? I guess you can... I've seen Entropy play 5 and 3.
Earthshaker.
This is another... it's another theoretically good hero against the Doom. A lot of the time we see just saves in heals, like heal burst, HP regen, from heroes like Omni, Legion, Abba. The Earthshaker is also very nice against the Doom to disengage. You chuck out a Fissure, blocking out the enemy team potentially. trying to stun up 3 heroes and then disengage with whoever gets doomed. I think it's really nice, theoretically, actually against a doom. And they're just going to go slaughter here, so... The minus armor does really well against the Enchantress. You're amplifying the PA. I think you have to ban out the mag if you're authentic. You can't let them get PA mag, I think. So much physical damage. The only issue with these 2 picks is the fact that it's into a... Like, Lifesteal's going to go help with this game. And Lich has a lot of protection against physical damage with a Frost Shield. And also Enchantress is relatively good against physical damage. The only issue is, of course, you can kind of kill her pretty fast, and you don't get, of course, the Untouchable not being the ultimate now makes it a little difficult, but the amount of minus armor Dire will have, and I like the Razor Band too. You can kind of lane him up in a lot of matchups. Good against a Lifestealer, really good against Enchantress. The Static Link doesn't care about the attack speed slow. I still think I just mag though, I believe. What are Authentic looking for? I mean, I think OD still looks really good. Maybe someone that can dispel. I'm trying to think of mid laners that can though. I can't think of many. I guess if you just go for Yule Scepter, but whatever they're cooking for dinner kind of smells pretty nice. I think it's pasta. Is it pasta? Shit, I'm hungry.
Dire team pick.
They banned Pugna. Okay. It actually really is good this game though, against the PA slaughter physical. Do they want to no, they can't OD into a Lifestealer. The Pugna ban's 50-50. Could be nice to save the Doom target too.
10 seconds remaining.
I actually don't know where they're going with this. All I can think about is mag, but... Authentic don't have the greatest catch, like it's just the Earthshaker, so maybe they can go for, like, a Clop or someone to put a lot of pressure onto the map early and...
Radiant team pick.
Grim.
What the fuck are the lanes? I've got no idea what's happening. Well, I think you have to have the Slaughter versus the Lifestealer. What, so it's a Sky mid?
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Is it? Thought the Grim could be good when I saw the PA pick, but then I thought they couldn't fit the Grim in now with... Wait, hang on. How did I not see this before? Slaughter and Doom, and I didn't say anything. I know, the draft is fucking throwing me off.
Choose your hero.
Oh, this is a rough Cloth game. Oh, it's a core Doom. So, it's a 2 Doom? Hang on. It's a position 2 Doom, what is happening? I think you can understand a little bit of confusion coming too when you see a position 2 Doom. What am I missing? They have a lot of ways to deal with a Clop. I'm a little worried. Soulbind makes it very difficult. Is mid Doom actually a thing? Like, I haven't seen it. If pros are playing a core Doom, I thought it was safe lane. What is going on in my game? What is going on in this game?
5 seconds.
I don't know what to make of EHOME's draft. I think EHOME's is a lot better. I don't like the Clock considering there's a lot of control from EHOME. And they have the double Doom potential. Getting double Corrosive Haze is pretty nice as well considering, you know, whatever Scythe Mage tries to output throughout the fight. Double Dagger, I mean, I don't know, there's some nice things. It's mainly just a double Doom, but I think they have a really nice way to be able to deal with the Queen of Pain. I'm just, like, I don't understand EHOME's draft. I feel like do they have enough stuns to set up for the Sky Mystic Flare? And if they don't, Sky's damage just falls off. Once again, I think you just have to build a bunch of armor to deal with the PA and Slaughter. Yeah, double ancient seal is nice too. What am I missing? Doom's laning stage has been nerfed heavily, so not. I mean, I guess you max Devour. How does he itemize though? I'm not gonna lie. I don't too much know what's happening.
Prepare for battle.
Like, not a lot.
Total spawnage.
But we're gonna go with it and kind of just wing it, and we'll see what happens. I have no water, and I have a headache, so I'm gonna go get water real quick. Sorry, they literally jumped in the game so fast, I didn't have time.
I came a long way to see you die. Down you go. I gambled. You lost.
I knew they were gonna pause.
Handsome devil.
They paused for me, that's why. And as soon as I come back,
Missing top.
truly I'm a god. Okay, well. I don't know what the fuck's happening in this game. I think this is a really good starter game. Radiant don't have a lot of lockdown. It's just kind of the Earthshaker. Last game they didn't have a lot of lockdown as well, but they were able to take that. I think early on you kind of have to deal with the Phantom Assassin. If you don't, it's going to be very difficult. Like, until you start getting the evasion, Enchantress should have a pretty good laning stage versus the hero. But once the blur starts to get maxed out, the 50% evasion is just nuts against the Impetus. I'm also not a huge fan of the Orb of Venom build. I think 3 Tangos with no Quelling Blade, and I don't know what he's going to get out of the Orb of Venom though. Like, do they have any harass potential? I want to see how this works. So many people have been going Orb of Venom to start, and this is not a lane where I thought you would, considering. Like, I'm pretty sure that the PA just kind of gets bullied, but I do. These lanes are so fascinating to me. Deny it? Now, did he see the sentry get dropped? I thought he did. So, alright, so he did Devour. On level 1. I'm not really surprised with the Devour getting picked up, and so this is my take of so far is the fact that there's a couple things that are very uncertain to me. I think that they have. It's because he's got a Grimstroke support. That's why he's got an orb.
First.
I forgot there was a Grim in the game. Not gonna lie. I think that the few questions for me is the fact that Radiant have. Enchantress is pretty good against physical damage when you start maxing out Untouchable. Of course, the Impetus is not the greatest versus PA, and PA is actually a decent matchup, and you see straight on top of the Enchantress here, and the Inkswell stun, who's just going to be off the mark here. Sure, we'll have a dagger up shortly. Will that enable him to get first blood? Command's going to get a return kill, though. A little bit annoying that he gets first blood, but it's actually, as an Earthshaker, you're pretty content with that, honestly. That's a nice chunk of gold for him. But it is pretty big for them, and I think you have to kind of harass out the PA at this early stage, and You see this just a little bit more Tengu is coming through, which is definitely much needed, but Radiant deal really well against physical damage, I think, with Lich maxing out Frost Shield, the Untouchable as well. They might be able to just pretty much like 1 or 2 hit the Enchantress with crits coming through from PA, just like straight daggers, and now they're just straight on top of the Earthshaker. Looks like they just want to brawl right now, and he's going to end up falling. This should be another kill for EHOME at the top side with the dagger coming up pretty shortly. Command's going to try and play around with the vision, but Shira's going to be able to catch him out here. So another kill for the Phantom Assassin. You know, this laning stage is going relatively well for them up top, actually. So it's just a classic Grimstroke PA matchup. I mean, the Grimstroke with a laning stage carry who has a lot of a laning stage carry who has very good mobility in the Phantom Assassin. I love heroes like Anti-Mage, Phantom Lancer, PA. Literally, I'm trying to name a couple others, but anyone who can, you pop Inkswell, they blink forward, and it just allows you to get the stun set up. It is really, really nice to find these pickoffs like that. It's nicely done, nicely done. I don't know what the timing of that is. Does anyone know? Is it 53 seconds? I thought it's stacked, actually. Interesting. Might not even be able to kill it completely, but how's Doom going? I mean, 12 to 1 compared to the 18 at 8. Looks like Wolf is having a much better time right now. I mean, 2 points in the dagger. I feel like even though Doom's going to have this Devour region, it keeps getting nerfed. You take a look at the early levels, it's really, really difficult. And so even though 70 will have this, and probably just going to chuck out his Scorched Earth and just try and deal with the Creep Wave and fall back to the jungle, but he doesn't farm the jungle relatively fast. And now with the lifesteal, but a lot of damage onto YK. See with that Frost Shield, some protection, but the important thing, I wonder what Slaughter, how his skill builds this game. A lot of the time I've seen Slaughters, I personally like to max out the Bash and then max out Guardian Sprint. Lately I've been seeing Slaughters actually just keep 3 points in the Bash and max out the other abilities, so it'll be interesting to see how his laning stage goes. I know the Bash did get nerfed recently, but still at max level the damage is the same, so man, Quap is really having a good time at this mid lane matchup. I mean, 70, once he gets double brace, so the magic resistance is going to be pretty important in survivability. But Wolf might be able to find this kill, though, with 3 points in the dagger. And it looks like 70 is going to end up dropping. To have a Fairy Fire, but I don't think it would have been enough. And this is a big kill. I mean, Doom mid, you try and get as greedy as possible with this pickup, and I'm not a huge fan of 3 points in the dagger, but if you're able to win your laning stage pretty heavily and get kills throughout it, then I think it's really important. I think 3 points in the dagger is really just for like a zoning mechanism and just kind of bullying someone out, but that extra point makes it very difficult to max out your blink and max out your screen, which is a lot of your burst potential and a lot of your wave clear as well. But Wolf's going to rotate to the top side. He does have the ultimate, they're grouping up as well, stun onto 2. But it looks like, oh, Shira's actually pushed the high ground here, Wolf. Going to blink in a couple of seconds, but the dagger's going to be the one to claim the kill. Grimstroke does get the bounty rune, it looks like, at least. He might be able to get another one as well. Blink forward on the back line. Wolf snags this bad boy. Ooh. Lucky it's not daytime. So the Inkswell stun, I mean, definitely wasn't enough. And this does give Doom a little bit of time. So will he make rotations once he hits level 6? Let's see how he wants to play this matchup. Because it's not going to be easy to kill the lifesteal with the Lich protecting him. I don't think Lich is a good defensive support at the laning stage. But the slows is a really good way to deal with the Doom target. And now, let's make aggressive movements against this Earthshaker with Insanity rotating to the top side. The Inkswell being on cooldown, they won't really be able to dive the tower here, but still see the damage output, man. Woozy already 3 points in this impetus, so at least getting a couple of kills over on the Earthshaker. That's the second death of the game for him. So PA's actually having a decent matchup. See, not last hitting too well. Has kind of put a lot more emphasis on trying to find these kills throughout the laning stage. 70 does have Doom. Try and get aggressive here. He probably could have killed the Quap, I feel like, right? With his Doom and Haste, I feel like that's a much better target. He needs to wait for the Scorched Earth to be back up, but can just move forward and chuck this bad boy out potentially. But so he's going to get nothing out of the Haste, and in the meantime, Lifesteal's doing relatively well down bot, top of the last hits, and he did go the phase in this laning stage. I think A lot of the time we're seeing the life stealers just max that javelin and I even rush the maelstrom for that matter, but PA produces his phantom strike and they should be able to find the kill. A little bit of low mana, but doesn't matter. Uzi, they're able to find him. PA still with only 1 point up in the blur, but it looks like Lich still going to get chased down here. It's going to be hot bad if Doom gets Frost Shield neutral. They nerfed the armor, right, didn't they? I swear they did. It's still 5, which is a lot. Oh, sorry, 6. I looked at the cooldown instead. Yeah, it's going to be really difficult for the lifesteal to fire. I don't think it's... I think it's more important for Radiant to take than Dire, but... And even then, I do agree. DQ. Look at the silence coming through, taking a lot of damage here. They're going to rotate another hero. Wolf has the ultimate available. They're grouping up as well for the Sonic Wave and crippling forward. Wolf is going to have the magic burst. Sky will try and rotate. Still only level 3. Seeker's going to join them as well. So Linsanity with that TP not going to be enough. And they might be able to find a third hero as well. Commands continues to chase into the trees. Shiro won't be able to survive there. Beautiful rotations coming through from Wolf, honestly. And they are playing this game incredibly well. The lanes... I don't know, man. They're just going swimmingly, to say the least. And Wolf is, I mean, got 3 points in the stream now to mention. So, I mean, Lifesteal is having an incredible time down. But
Dire's top tower is
I think, I mean, it still feels like PA's definitely... I wonder what the item choice is this game for PA. Like, do you go Battle Fury? She's died 4 times, though, actually. I didn't know she's died that many. Wow. And you don't farm very fast on the PA, and that's kind of why I wanted to see EHOME go for the mag. Like, even though a lot of core Magnuses don't give Empower and don't kind of play around their cores, it's still at least some catch-up mechanism if the PA falls this far behind, which she is, and it's getting very worrisome now, because the Grimstroke PA lane is supposed to be kind of kill after kill, and then with these kills you just transfer that lead and bully the enemy laner out, but they're just going to go full greed. I mean, Doom trying to pick up this Midas, but because he had to go double bracer in a lane against the Clop, he's not going to get that Midas at a relatively good timing. And he doesn't really have a lane to go to. Like, they've got no playmaking heroes right now in EHOME. Like, no one to pair up with the Sky, which is why I thought the support pickup was very intriguing. Because a lot of the time you see her with, like, a Legion Commander, like a Clockwork, a Void as well. They just have no stun set up. It's literally just the Slardar. But, Slardar, he needs to go a little bit of utility. Gotta get the outpost before that 10-minute interval. But Radiant, they're gonna take a fight down here, though. Grimstroke will get scouted. Commands. Holding onto that fissure for a period of time instead. They've countered their aggression. Linsanity's gonna go for a TP out. They will have a fissure to cancel this. Perfect prioritization coming through from Authentic, honestly. They hold the fissure, cancel the TP. Wolf goes on another hero, then the Lifestealer. And they also get that outpost before the 10-minute timing, so they're going to be able to control both the outposts and get all the bounty runes potentially. Simpsons Gaze. What? Bounty? Someone take it! Wolf. Looks like they'll get the kill still, and he'll be able to get the other bounty instead. So I think they just wanted the bottle. Little bit of misexecution there. Miscommunication, I should say, more or less, but they'll still get 3 bounties and continue the net worth lead skyrocketing up right now for the boys over on Radiant with a 5,000 gold start for them. The Clop's also going to be going for the Yule Scepter, so a really nice way to kite the Phantom Assassin before BKB, but the big thing is that you're dispelling the Corrosive Haze, also getting rid of the silence as well, I think is super important. This is now Maelstrom completed though, so the Lifesteal is going to flash farm. Who'd they give the other jelly to? Was the Clop, okay. So, meantime, 4 neutral items? No, it's just 2 apiece. It actually looks like 3 right now. Oh, never mind, 2 apiece it is, so. Not too many important ones. So the Keen Optic's pretty decent on someone like the Grimstroke potentially as the game goes on, but even then, still feels like Radiant pretty content on just farming up, kind of giving Lifesteal a little bit of space. See, as soon as he gets that Maelstrom, he's going to just camp after camp, and Queen of Pain's really just going to be the one to try and make a lot more plays happen across the map, being 6-0 and 2. Something I haven't spoken about with the Queen of Pain, I think the big issue with the hero is the fact that you kind of have a quick kill quota. If you go over what I'd say is 4 deaths, the hero really starts to fall behind, and 70... First doom of the game, Earthshaker, can he cut throughout the trees here? 70 moves incredibly fast and looks like his own creeps going to kind of block him up a little bit here. Still looking out to the south actually. Now with the Frost Shield, Earthshaker goes further back into the Scorched Earth. He would have been fine if he ran to the Lich actually. He's going to try and tip you up. They have the Sinister's Gaze to cancel that. Woozy's in the area as well. Chainfrost's going to bounce back a couple of times, and with the damage, now to bring down the Doom, but they're not done just yet. Another kill off to the side lane here with the blink forward. Ultimate's going to be up in a couple of seconds here, and with the slow, it looks like it's not even going to be needed. However, Grimstroke, TP won't be there in time. Wolf can actually maybe find this kill potentially, but still, remember that kill quota for Death and the Queen of Pain. It really starts to make your game pretty difficult, but the good thing is she hasn't died just yet. She also has a really good protection with the Yule Scepter, and already, I mean, the fact that she maxed out the dagger and already has Blink and Scream maxed out, and this is just thanks to the fact that you don't put a second point in your Sonic Wave, you don't pick up a Talon as well. Yep. Oh. Thank you. Love you.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Blink, GZQ. Nice invis scouting out. Dire on the backline, they'll get the Soul Bind with the Doom on cooldown, and that Corp's going to be protected from the Yule Scepter. They'll chuck up the Echo Slam, not going to connect onto anyone though. They need to protect Wolf from the Mystic Flare, and with the Blink away, she'll be able to survive. However, Radiant, they're going to rotate in the Life Soul as well. 70 just can't disengage. Tries to get the Midas off. Looks like he will be able to before he dies, but Sato's still going to try and close the distance to Blink forward Wolf. As the Yule's in a couple of seconds, can he get it off? Looks like he's not going to dive here. Oh, I got some pasta. I really want to eat, but with the way this game's going, it's going to be over pretty shortly. So, we'll hold off on that bad boy. Okay. Do a damage, just going to shred through him. For some reason, I thought the Queen of Pain Sonic Wave was the same with the Laguna Blade as the Lena. I thought that once you got the Ags, it turned into pure, but I forgot it was always the case. Man, Shearer's having a rough game, to say the least. I mean, it looks like when you go for this Doom as well, you need to be really greedy. And like I said, I don't have any playmaking heroes. The fact that YK hasn't gone for Blink first is kind of putting them really far behind.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And I imagine Woozy probably goes for... I think Hurricane Pike. Hurricane Pike's really freaking bonkers. Might just still go Dragonlance into some protection. Like Lotus Orb's really good this game. If they do want to pick that bad boy up, I actually think it's so good this game. But they'll take the last T1 tower right now, and with a 9,000 gold net worth lead, and this is going to allow some space for the Earthshaker, who's trying to farm up the Blink. But right before the bounties in the outpost, this is a nice smoke movement from EHOME.immortal. They do have everything up. That is Radiant's Mango Tree, actually. That's a pretty decent Mango Tree spot, of course. Can you see this? Kind of can. So, but still, they smoke up. They don't make anything happen. I like the movement. It's a nice attempt. It's right before the bounties. If you can get this right before the outpost as well. Well, actually, sorry, it's not the bounties. Sorry, of course, not that 10-minute interval. So, they do see it. Yeah, there you go. They got rid of it. Provided a little bit of vision. I don't think they saw that smoke. I think they used it back towards the T1 tower mid, but 70's gonna go treads, man. He just wants to tank up as much as possible, and I believe they have the Blink completed on the Earthshaker, so if he wants to try and join them, he actually will come down bot now. Not full on mana, Insanity. He not be able to TP out. Looks like Shearer's gonna make it, however, so just watch his support constantly keep falling. I mean, they haven't revealed this Blink just yet. So commands that he's going to sit in the trees. I like this play of Dire maybe trying to defend bot potentially. It's a really nice spot for them, yeah. I want to see them use this ward. A lot of the time the T2 tower you try and take top before the bottom one. It's just a lot easier to do. Devaney might be setting up on Woozy. This isn't an easy target.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
This might be a little difficult. It's got to be careful. Radiant, they are showing bot as well.
Structures are fortified.
See how this bad boy works.
Leave them
Dire's
all.
bottom tower is under
So
attack.
he shocks up. the heals, and yeah, he's going to be fine. Won't even worry about this. I mean, they are rotating on the backline pretty fast. YK's got a haste, but off to the side. They'll find the Sky. Still hasn't taken barely any damage from this now. And Radiant, they're going to be able to follow up with the TPs. Dire, they may have committed a little bit too far here. Soulbind off to the side, but it's not going to latch onto anyone now. And 7E control. They'll get the enchant. Tinnitus is available to be able to cancel out this TP. And Doom, completely useless so far throughout this game. I mean, at least he was able to get the Devourer off as well with the Midas, but now they're just walking higher ground with the Catapult Wave.
Missing dog!
Dire's structures
I'm kind of surprised he's maxed out the Sinisters Gaze. Really interesting choice. I guess the fact that Radiant don't have a lot of lockdown, which is kind of why you've maxed this one out. And they can just continue this siege if they want to. It's really difficult to take the tower, but I mean, the fact that you only need to rotate the Lich and I don't know, that's just... Authentic is so far ahead, it's freaking nuts, honestly. All they did was rotate a Lich to defend a Doom target, and the rest of the 3 heroes stayed to take half of a tier 3 tower. They also still got the bottom one and found a pick off on that Sky at the same stage. I mean, the probability is going to be so far ahead, and it is. And his commands, he's got the blink. Nice Ancient Seal will stop the initiation, but looks like Wolf still going to try and follow up. They got the Sonic Wave, will be enough. YK, nice 2-man stun. Solid damage over to the Earthshaker here. Sure, doesn't have too much mana to work around with, however. YK, open wound stop save. That's going to be able to close the distance now and turn his attention to the Grimstroke. Without any disengage, EHOME, they'll just drop the G's, man. This game did not go anywhere near in their favor. Team Authentic, a very convincing 2-0, honestly, 18 minutes in. Damn, this Queen of Pain made a lot happen. You love to see it, honestly. Very nice performance from them. Very, very nice performance from them. I mean, there's not too much to say, man. You pick a Doom position too. You go Sky with no stuns. A PA as well. I don't know. I think it's very debatable. I'm not going to get into it too much. I know someone talked about earlier a lot of the drafts have just been kind of like some odd drafts and games have just been won by that. But I mean, they got 6 kills on Dire. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. It really just felt like if you're gonna draft like that, you're just kind of handing the game over to Team Authentic, and I don't know. They look like after that first game, they just weren't the same. So, stumped is a good way to describe that bad boy. Authentic, they're gonna move on. They'll make it to the 3rd round of the lower bracket. I'm not going to talk about that one too much. So, the next series is going to be Neon up against Low-Key Esports. It's going to be a hell of a matchup. It is upper bracket as well. Supposed to be in about 55. I'm hoping they push it forward, but they didn't push the last one forward, so that's a bit shit. But I haven't cast a Teehee and Flysoul in a while, so this is going to be interesting to see them. See how they're able to play this one. I remember exclamation mark. Who was on this team? I can't remember. Okay, never mind. What's good, Chris? How you doing, man? Yeah, I don't know how you can try and cheese a Grimstroke and pick a Doom as a 2, but yeah, Neon up against Loki is going to be quite the matchup. I'm very, very excited for that. And also next, I mean, whoever loses that, they're going to have to go against Signal Ultra in the lower bracket round 2. So the next 2 best of 3s, they're going to be some pretty exciting ones to say the least. So unfortunately, we will have to take quite the break unless they push it forward. So I'll keep you guys updated.